Hey there, friends. Pastor Jason here. Glad you can join me for Exodus Daily Devotionals. We're in Exodus 37 and 38 today. We're going to continue reading how Bezalel completes all the things that the Lord commanded Moses to do, along with Aholiab. They create all the things for the tabernacle. Let's jump into the very detailed account. Here we go. Verse 1. Bezalel made the ark of acacia wood 45 inches long, 27 inches wide, and 27 inches high. He overlaid it with pure gold inside and out, and he made a gold molding all around it. He cast 4 rings for it, for its 4 feet, 2 rings on one side, 2 rings on the other side. He made poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. He inserted the poles into the golden rings on the sides of the ark for carrying the ark. He made a mercy seat of pure gold, 45 inches long, 27 inches wide. He made 2 cherubim of gold. He made them of hammered work at the 2 ends of the mercy seat, 1 cherubim at one end and 1 cherub at the other end. At each end he made a cherub of 1 piece with the mercy seat. They had wings spread out. They faced each other and covered the mercy seat with their wings. Their faces of the cherubim were looking toward the mercy seat. He constructed the table of acacia wood, 36 inches long, 18 inches wide, and 27 inches high. He overlaid it with pure gold and made a gold molding all around it. He made a 3-inch frame all around it and made a gold molding all around its frame. He cast 4 gold rings for it and attached the rings to the 4 corners of its legs. The rings were next to the frame as holders for the poles to carry the table. He made the poles for carrying the table from acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. He also made the utensils that would be on the table out of pure gold, its plates and cups, as well as its bowls and pitchers for pouring drink offerings. Then he made the lampstand out of pure hammered gold. He made it all one piece, its base and shaft, its ornamental cups, in its calyxes and petals. 6 branches extended from its sides, 3 branches from the lampstand from one side and 3 branches of the lampstand from the other side. There were 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with a calyx and petals on the first branch, and 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with a calyx and petals on the next branch. It was this way for the 6 branches that extended from the lampstand. On the lampstand shaft, there were 4 cups shaped like almond blossoms with calyxes and petals. For the 6 branches that extended from it, a calyx was under the first pair of branches from it, a calyx under the second pair of branches from it, and a calyx under the third pair of branches from it. Their calyxes and branches were of one piece. All of it was a single hammered piece of pure gold. He also made it 7 lampstands, snuffers, and fire pans of pure gold. He made it and all its utensils of 75 pounds of pure gold. He made the altar of incense out of acacia wood. It was square, 18 inches long, 18 inches wide, and 36 inches high. Its horns were one piece. He overlaid it, its top, all around its sides, and its horns with pure gold. Then he made a gold molding all around it. He made 2 gold rings for it under the molding on 2 of its sides. He made 2 gold rings for it under the molding on 2 of its sides. He put these on opposite sides of it to be holders for the poles to carry it with. He made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. He also made the holy anointing oil, the pure, fragrant, and expertly blended incense. Chapter 38. Bezalel constructed the altar of burnt offering from acacia wood. It was 7.5 feet long and 7.5 feet wide and was 4.5 feet high. He made horns for it on its 4 corners. The horns were of one piece. Then he overlaid it with bronze. He made all the altar's utensils, the pots, the shovels, the basins, meat forks, and fire pans. He made all its utensils of bronze. He constructed for the altar a grate of bronze mesh under its ledge, halfway up from the bottom. At the 4 corners of the bronze grate, he cast 4 rings as holders for the poles. He made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with bronze. Then he inserted the poles into the rings on the sides of the altar in order to carry it with them. He constructed the altar with boards so that it was hollow. He made the bronze basin and its stand from the bronze mirrors of the women who served at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Then he made the courtyard. The hangings on the south side of the courtyard were of finely spun linen, 150 feet in length, including their 20 posts and 20 bronze bases. The hooks and bands of the posts were silver. The hangings on the north side were also 150 feet in length, including their 20 posts and 20 bronze bases. The hooks and bands of the posts were silver. The hangings on the west side were 75 feet in length, including their 10 posts and 10 bases. The hooks and bands of the posts were silver. The hangings on the east toward the sunrise were also 75 feet in length. The hangings on one side of the gate were 22.5 feet, including their 3 posts and 3 bases. It was the same for the other side. The hangings were 22.5 feet, including their 3 posts and 3 bases on both sides of the courtyard gate. All the hangings around the courtyard were finely spun linen. The bases for the posts were bronze, the hooks and bands of the posts were silver, and the plating for the tops of the posts was silver. All the posts of the courtyard were banded with silver. The screen for the gate of the courtyard was embroidered with blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely spun linen. It was 30 feet long, like the hangings of the courtyard, 7.5 feet high. It had 4 posts, including their 4 bronze bases. Their hooks were silver, and the bands, as well as the plating for their tops, were silver. All the tent pegs for the tabernacle and for the surrounding courtyard were bronze. This is the inventory for the tabernacle of the testimony that was recorded at Moses' command. It was the work of the Levites under the direction of Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest. Bezalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, made everything that the Lord commanded Moses. With him was Oholiab, son of Ishamach, of the tribe of Dan, a gem cutter, a designer, and an embroiderer with blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and fine linen. All the gold of the presentation offering that was used for the project and all the work on the sanctuary was 2,193 pounds according to the sanctuary shekel. The silver from those of the community who were registered was 7,544 pounds according to the sanctuary shekel, and 2/5 of an ounce per man, that is half a shekel, according to the sanctuary shekel, from everyone 20 years old or more who had crossed over to the registered group, 603,550 men. There were 7,500 pounds of silver used to cast the bases of the sanctuary and the bases of the veil. 100 bases from 7,500 pounds, 75 pounds for each base. With the remaining 44 pounds, he made the hooks for the posts, overlaid their tops, and supplied bands for them. The bronze of the presentation offering totaled 5,310 pounds. He made it with the bases for the entrance to the tent of meeting, the bronze altar, and its bronze grate, all the utensils for the altar, the bases for the surrounding courtyard, the bases for the gate of the courtyard, all the tent pegs for the tabernacle, and all the tent pegs for the surrounding courtyard. Woo! What a detailed account we've had over the past several days, from the Lord instructing Moses to Moses instructing Bezalel and Oholiab, and now the account of Bezalel and Oholiab creating all that stuff. What do we take away? So we've talked about, if you haven't watched, go back and watch the past couple of videos, because it's difficult. What do we pull out for our own spiritual walk? First, we've got Bezalel and Oholiab doing exactly what the Lord would ask them to do. Okay? They did the amount of detail that was needed, and they even recognized when the community was bringing in more than enough and said, the directions from the Lord say this, we've got that. The other section that I would pull out from this, right? So first was do what the Lord commands you to do. And secondly, it's the beginning of the year. Maybe you have, at the recording of this anyway, I don't know when you're watching this, but a lot of people, they reassess their budget, they reassess the money that they're going to make over the year, if the Lord wills. Maybe they kind of reassess, are we tithing? Or should we continue to tithe? Or the Lord has blessed us, let us keep tithing. Tithe, that's something the Lord calls us to do, to bring our financial treasure to Him, a portion of it anyway. And here, the Israelites have done the same. They've plundered Egypt as they left, and here they're paying a certain amount of that for the building of the tabernacle. Your tithe goes to the Lord's work, and He is faithful. So when it's when you put it in perspective, if you were given $100 and someone says, hey, someone in need needs 10, you'd be willing to give it, wouldn't you? That's kind of the operational math of a tithe, okay? Think about being faithful with what the Lord has given you. Yes, you worked and you earned it, but it was the Lord who was faithful to give it to you. With that, I hope chapters 37 and 38 have been a blessing to you. Join me tomorrow. We're going to wrap up Exodus tomorrow. Usually we do the Psalms on Friday. We're going to wrap it up, and we'll finish off Exodus tomorrow. So join us then. With that, be blessed, be a blessing. I'll see you tomorrow.